anything else. Tiny little pinholes, slightly bigger pinholes, imperfections.
Chris wants to turn our boat green.
Yeah. There's no storm in the hull because of the filter.
Yeah.
Looks good with a bit of stainless. I don't particularly like stainless, but boat bling.
Hello dear followers and new joiners! In this episode of Building Wilda, we resume the sanding and spot filling activities in the salon, the galley and the middle room on the port side. This is the last area that is about to receive its share of shiny top coat. But before we get there, we still have some work to do, so bear with us as we get through these times. We have to identify and mark all the imperfections, fill them with either an epoxy filler or with a car body filler, depending on how large the area is, and then we sand to even out the surface. And while it's fun to watch time lapses and quick progress, let me just offer you a glimpse of the real deal, a brief moment of what our world is like. Quite often we play music in the background when we work, especially when we do manual sanding, but when the sanders and the vacuum are on, we have a real concert going on. So after last week's removal of the shelves in the galley and the shaping of the steps, we are now committed to finish sanding and spot filling. Measles everywhere. Measles.
Green measles.
Yes.
And I'm not sure that's not measles, that's some other disease there in the corner. I think that may have required some extra filling.
This one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about the forward measles?
That's the prettiest. Chris is
I
super
think-
happy with that one.
Chris wants to turn our boat green.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not happy with the.
He doesn't like the
White.
white so much. No, it's too boring.
Yeah.
So we have to make it green. Yay!
Yeah, there's a bit of measles going on here. This part of the boat, this whole section, the central section, is pretty difficult to fare. There's all sorts of corners and and flat surfaces and curved surfaces. There's unevenly curved surfaces. There's all sorts of stuff that makes the faring difficult. So each of these joins, of course, has extra glass on them. There's a cove that has been done by different people, different times. And then a lot of years later, you're trying to make it all look pretty. So you're sanding down corners that, well, I think are too heavy on the epoxy filler. And now we're at a stage where we're filling between coats of paint. Yeah, between the primer and the top coat, and body filler for car body filler, polyester, it's just fine. There are some bigger like areas or holes for me to fill. I'll use epoxy for that. Either this blue 1-to-1 epoxy or an epoxy Q-cell mix micro balloons. Yeah, anything else? Tiny little pinholes, slightly bigger pinholes, imperfections, body fillers, absolutely fine. This is hopefully never going to be underwater, so should be all right. If we move up to the salon, most of the measles have already been sanded out, so now you only have the little bits left. So if you had an area this big with green stuff, now that it's sanded down and nice, the roof we're not doing anything about. It'll be covered with a liner. Well, a lot of these boats don't have any liners. This one will. That'll come at a later stage. And I'm not sure if you can see, the port side here is not so much measles as it is green. Actually, this is pretty good, and this side is substantially easier to fare than that side, and it's still not easy. Yeah, curves, flat surfaces with thousands of little pinholes in because of how the panels are made. So this here, the port head, is a section we haven't really started with, and that's because I have some construction to do here. So that's going to start really soon. I have to put in base for the toilet and then basically plumb that in. And on the port side, towards the bulkhead, I will put in a shelf, and that's for added storage in here, but mostly to add some rigidity to this panel that is coming soon. And just to make myself a little bit happier, we put up the stanchions. That didn't need much. I had to sand out a little bit of extra paint that was in each of these holes. Actually, a friend of ours, Steve, did that, and yeah, and then he helped me put these handrails and the stanchions in place. Looks good with a bit of stainless. I don't particularly like stainless, but boat bling. And yeah, dead spider drains. What are you doing? Mixing paint?
Yeah.
Having fun?
No.
It's after New Year's and we're not finished with the painting as we had hoped. But we are close and doing the final sanding, and Roxana has now mixed some paint to paint all the cupboards or whatever they're called in the galley and under steps and things like that. So we get that done before spray. While she's doing that, I'm trying to catch up on the port side where I'm still filling and sanding. Well, I was filling earlier today, and I'm now sanding what is hopefully the last sand. So that is where we're at. So Rox will do some painting. That's great.
As you already know by now, one round of sanding and spot filling is never enough. But after so much work, we can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, as some of you already commented on our previous videos. Here I am, rolling some paint in the tricky areas, then we start masking and preparing for spray painting.
How are you feeling?
I'm okay because I took a break at lunchtime, but how are you feeling?
I think we're both pretty tired.
Yes.
And we haven't filmed today, and we should have. But what we've been doing today is masking and
Creating all sorts of innovative
innovative masking.
yes.
And you'll have
ventilation also.
Exactly, ventilation also. So you'll have to excuse the mess. But
It's not here.
no skip, not yet.
Yeah.
But
We'll sort
this
the
is
garbage later.
our beautiful fantastic ventilation setup. So this is what our ventilation looks like. 2 garbage bags taped to the fan taped
And
to our escape hatches.
And in the escape hatches
Yeah.
we have
A filter.
as well.
So we're not really providing a lot of airflow to cool us down. What we're doing is forcing in some fresh air so that the fresh air will displace the fumes
Yes.
while we're
And also the
painting
filter
tomorrow.
prevents the fresh air coming from inside to interfere with the spray painting because
also there's no storm in the hull because of the filter.
yeah. It's
And,
a light breeze. Let's say it's
yeah.
a light breeze.
And at least the filter will allow some air in during the first spray of the stairs. Actually, there will only be one spray of the staircase, so after that, I have a feeling most of the filter might be covered in paint.
Yeah.
But until then, we'll get air, and after then, we'll still get air, just not as efficiently.
Yeah.
And then we'll have extraction fan
On
on top.
On the hatches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can't just have everything open because then you get spray everywhere.
Including a
the outside of the boat. Which
Yes,
is painted
outside we
already.
don't want painted anymore.
Yeah.
All done. Messy explanation, but you'll see what we're doing when we get there.
Should I go quickly and do a tour of the inside with mask?
I think so.
Masking? Okay. The last view
Yeah.
of the interior without
Bef-
the top coat.
Yeah. Let's do that.
I'm afraid you'll have to come back next Sunday to see the tour and the result after the spray painting session. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy our progress and videos, please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and we'll be happy to reply. Thank you so much!